Hello, and welcome to the 2020 IRONMAN 70.3 Taiwan Athlete Briefing. Today we'll be taking you through the athlete briefing developed by our local race director, Joe Lee. In this briefing, we will cover the event schedule, weather forecast for the event weekend, athlete items, course reviews, and post-race schedule. If you have not already done so, please read the athlete information guide, as there is information in there that we will not have time to cover in this briefing here. Also, if you have any questions at the end of this briefing, please feel free to ask those questions in the comments section below or send a DM and the event team will reply to you on Facebook. IRONMAN 70.3 Taiwan will officially kick off on Friday, September 11th. We will only cover key schedule items in this briefing. For a more extensive event schedule, please visit the event schedule on the website or the athlete information guide. On Friday, athlete check-in will be from noon until 6 p.m. From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., there will be a practice swim at Flowing Lake. And in the evening, the welcome function will be at the Sheraton Taitung Hotel, starting at 6 p.m. On Saturday, athlete check-in will be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is the last opportunity for athletes to check in. Mandatory bike check-in will be at the transition area from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. All bikes must be dropped off in transition at this time. And there will be a transition tour and Q&A at the transition area at 2 p.m. This would be a good opportunity to ask the race director any last-minute questions you may have in person. Sunday morning, transition will be open from 4:30 a.m. to 5:45 a.m. All athletes must clear the transition area by 5:45 a.m. at the latest to be ready for the 6 a.m. rolling start. After the completion of the race, we will have bike checkout from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. and then IRONMAN 70.3 World Championship slot allocation at 4 p.m., followed by awards at 5:30 p.m., both in the expo area in Taitung Forest Park. The weather forecast for race weekend is calling for a high of 30 and a low of mid-20s with thunderstorms for both Saturday and Sunday. Please keep up to date on the weather forecast throughout the week, as it is likely the expected conditions will change. Official water temperature and wetsuit decision will be made by event officials race morning and announced to the athletes at that time. Expected conditions call for a water temperature of between 23.5 degrees and 24.5 degrees, which would make this a wetsuit legal race. That means athletes have the choice to wear a wetsuit or to not wear a wetsuit. Water conditions on Flowing Lake are expected to be calm and flat. When athletes check in at registration, please check your race kit to ensure you have the following items. Wristband, which is mandatory to wear at all times after check-in until you check your bike out post-race on Sunday. 2 tattoo numbers to be applied to your left upper arm and your left calf for race day. A race bib number to be worn only during the run. A bike seat post sticker. 2 helmet stickers to be placed on the front of the helmet and the left sides of your helmet. 3 bag stickers for your T1 bag, T2 bag, and street gear bag. A bike pump sticker and a swim cap. Red T1 bag, blue T2 bag, and a black street gear bag. Mandatory bike check-in will be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the transition area next to Flowing Lake. Athletes are required to have their wristbands on, their seat post sticker attached to their bike, and their helmet with both helmet stickers attached to the front and left of the sides of the helmet for a helmet inspection. There is no bike check-in allowed race morning. All athletes must have their bikes in transition by 6 p.m. on Saturday. On race morning, athletes will be allowed to access their bikes and drop their transition bags from 4:30 a.m. to 5:45 a.m. and then must proceed to the start area. Athlete and race kit items athletes should remember to bring race morning are their black street gear bag, their red T1 bag, their blue T2 bag, their swim caps, tattoo numbers, wristband, timing chip, bike pump if needed, and your bike helmet with stickers attached to both the front and left sides of the helmet. Other items athletes should remember race morning are their bike shoes, nutrition and hydration items. Timing chips will be distributed during bike check-in. If an athlete competes without their timing chip, there is no way to validate they completed the course, and they will show up as did not start or did not finish in the results. If at any point an athlete realizes they lost their timing chip during the race, please notify event staff. We will have spare timing chips at the swim start, the swim exit, and in transition. If an athlete drops out of the race, Please return your time and chip to an event staff member, as it is important for safety purposes. We know that you are no longer competing in the race. Relay teams must have all 3 members check in at the same time and athlete check-in. Your timing chip will act as your relay baton. When exchanging the timing chip, athletes must do that from the relay exchange tent inside of transition. Relay members must wear their wristbands at all times, as this is the only way to gain entry to the relay exchange tent or post-race area. The bib number only needs to be worn by the run leg member, and all relay team members can finish the last straightaway together as long as they have their wristbands on. For the swim to bike relay exchange and the bike to run relay exchange, the relay exchange tent will be located in the back corner of transition as signified by the green icon on the map. Bike and run relay members must report to this location. We will have bike mechanical service at multiple points throughout the event. In transition during bike check-in, pre-race morning access, and during T1. On course, there will be both mobile bike techs moving around and bike techs at both aid stations. Please be mindful that the mobile bike techs respond on a first come, first served basis, and this service may require significant wait times. Bike techs will assist athletes with repairs. There will be COVID-19 safety measures implemented at the event. Masks will be required to enter Tytoon Forest Park. All visitors must come with their own masks. Masks will not be provided. Before entering the Ironman store and expo area, each person will need to wash their hands with hand sanitizer provided at the checkpoint and continue to wear their mask. Athletes entering the athlete check-in area will be required to have their temperature taken prior to checking in. Please be patient if you encounter lines, and we suggest you come early to give yourself extra time. We will cover swim, bike, and run courses, as well as transition flows. 2 things to note related to the race. It is the athlete's responsibility to know and understand the 2020 Ironman rules and regulations. These are available at ironman.com, and it is the responsibility of the athletes to know and follow the course. The swim course is the same as previous years, a single lap 1.9 kilometer swim. There will be no opportunity for a swim warm-up prior to the race. Athletes will need to position themselves in the starting area based on their expected swim times. There will be flags labeled with time ranges to help organize the faster swimmers in front and the slower swimmers in the back. Once athletes are in the water, keep the yellow buoys on your left shoulder and turn left at the last yellow buoy. Athletes will then turn left at the first pink buoy and continue straight to the swim exit, keeping the pink buoys on their left shoulder at all times. Athletes can stop and rest by holding on to any of the buoys, swim line, boats, or other safety equipment, but any forward progress is prohibited and can result in a DQ. It is important to note that when you exit the swim, there will not be a shower available. If at any point during the swim you require assistance, please raise your arm and one of our swim safety staff will respond immediately. If there is a swim cancellation for whatever reason after the swim has started, you will hear horns and whistles blow continuously. At that point, please follow the instructions of swim safety staff and exit the water. If you drop out before or during the race, for safety reasons, it is important you return your chip to the dropout clerk at the info tent in transition, or return it to any event staff member you come in contact with. Upon completing the swim, you will exit the water, up the stairs, and follow the red carpet into transition to claim your bike and T1 transition bag. Once on the bike, athletes will first head north for a short time towards point A. At that time, they will turn south and make a U-turn, heading down through point B and down to point C, where they will U-turn again, heading back to point B, where they will complete lap 1. At this time, they'll make another U-turn, continue on to lap 2, make a U-turn at C, head back north, pass through B, then continue on into the transition area. We will have 10 kilometer markers every 10K. The course is closed to traffic, but as always, be vigilant and be aware that traffic can sneak onto the course at times. There will be 2 stationary and 2 mobile bike mechanics, as mentioned earlier. Bike aid stations will be located at 28K, 46K, and 68K. We will have 2 SAG vehicles available at U-turn points B and C. If you need to drop out of the race for whatever reason, this will be the easiest and fastest way to get you back to transition. If you're issued a penalty on the bike course, there will be a penalty tent inside a transition after racking your bike. Bike course aid stations. As mentioned earlier, we will have 3 aid station hits between the 2 aid station locations. Aid stations will be at 28 kilometers, 46 kilometers, and 68 kilometers. Please be aware that when you leave transition, the first opportunity for a bottle exchange is not until 28 kilometers into the race. Ensure that you have enough hydration on your bike to get you that far. When you approach an aid station, the product order will be trash bins first, followed by water, which will be in the red bottles, isotonic, which will be in the yellow bottles, food, isotonic, water, then there will be toilets, and a final opportunity for trash disposal. Please keep in mind that trash can only be disposed at the aid station locations. If you dispose of any trash anywhere else along the course, that is littering and can result in a DQ. As with all Ironman events, this is a non-drafting event. Always keep 12 meters between yourself and the athlete in front of you at all times. This distance is measured from the front wheel to the front wheel. Avoid riding next to another athlete or remaining in the passing lane after a completed pass, as this can result in a blocking penalty. Any started pass must be a completed pass within 25 seconds, or you can again risk a blocking penalty. If you are overtaken by another athlete, it is your responsibility as the overtaken athlete to drop back 12 meters out of that draft zone. If you receive a penalty from any of the race officials during the bike leg, you must report to the yellow tent in transition before the run, or you will be DQ'd. A yellow card is a 30-second penalty. Blue card is 5 minutes, and a red card is a DQ. If an athlete receives 3 blue cards during the bike, that will result in a DQ. Common penalties include drafting, blocking, illegal passing, and littering. Please be mindful of these and avoid risking a penalty on race day. Taiwan has a very unique process to issuing penalties on the bike course, so it's very important you pay attention to this, as it is different than how these are issued in other countries. If you receive a penalty from an official, that official will pull up alongside you on a scooter and call out the athlete's number. At that point, the athlete will then need to pull over to the side of the road and make a complete stop. The official will show you the penalty card that you received. That official will then mark the sticker on the helmet or the seat post. The official will take a picture of the athlete, and at that point the athlete can return to the course. At this point, you have not served your penalty. You have only been issued your penalty. If you received a yellow card and that stop took 30 seconds, that doesn't count as your 30-second penalty. You will still need to report to the penalty tent in the transition area before entering the run course. Failure to follow this process can result in disqualification. When coming into transition on the bike course, please be aware of the sharp Z-turn in the last 500 meters of the bike course. Signage will be on course to notify athletes of the upcoming sharp turns. Please keep aware of this advice and slow down all the way into transition, as the final straightaway will be on a slight descent to the dismount line. Once you dismount the bike, you will enter transition, rack your bike, take your T2 bag to change into your run gear, and then follow the green line out of the transition area and onto the run course. The run course is a 2-lap, 21.1 kilometer course. Athletes will follow the blue line out of transition for the first section of the run course. After 2.5K, you'll enter the red section of the run course, which is the lap section of the run course. You'll follow the red portion of the course up to point A, make a U-turn, follow the course out to the main road, then continue on to point B. Just before point B, you will hit the lap band station. At this point, you will collect your first of 2 lap bands. Once you collect your first lap band, you'll continue to point B, make a U-turn, head back into Taitung Forest Park, and then continue on to lap 2. Following lap 2 up to point A, with a U-turn at point A, and again out to the main road, and up to the lap band station near point B. At this point, you will collect your second and final lap band. You'll take a U-turn at point B, follow the course back into Taitung Forest Park. And then at this point, you can follow the purple section of the run course, which is the final right turn into the finish line. Once you've collected your second lap band and re-enter Taitung Forest Park towards the finish line, you'll follow the green line of the course into the U-turn, and then as you have completed your second lap and have 2 lap bands, you can make the final right turn into the finish line. Again, please remember not to turn into the finish line straight away until you have received both lap bands. For the run course aid stations, there will be a total of 6 aid station locations for a total of 11 hits. When approaching an aid station, the product order will be trash bins, water, ISO and cola, food, ISO and cola, water, toilets, and a last opportunity for trash disposal. Please remember, trash can only be discarded at the aid station locations. If done anywhere else on the course, it can result in a DQ. In addition to the product distribution at the run aid stations, there will also be splash tanks for athletes to use to cool down throughout the day during the run. Once in the finish line, volunteers will meet you and direct you to medical if needed. Athletes will receive a finisher medal and towel. Your timing chip will be returned, and then you will have access to the food, drink, massage, and streetwear bags in the recovery area. Please be aware that only athletes are allowed in the finish line area. Any athlete that finishes with friends or family will be DQ'd. As mentioned earlier, swim and bike relay members can join their runner for the last straightaway into the finish line, as long as everybody is wearing their athlete wristband. Cutoff times will be strictly enforced by the event team. Each athlete's time does not start until you cross the timing mat at the swim start. There is no advantage to starting in the front. All athletes will have the same amount of time to complete each leg of the race. If an athlete is not able to meet the cutoff times, they will show up as DNF in the results. All time of day cutoffs are approximate and are based off the last athlete entering the water at 6:22 a.m. These cutoffs can be moved forward or backwards based on how long it takes to get the last athlete into the water. For the swim, you will have 1 hour and 10 minutes from your individual start time to complete the race. There will be an intermediate cutoff at 0.95 kilometers halfway through the swim at 6:57 a.m. If you have not reached this point by that time, swim safety will require you to get out of the water and they will return you to shore. Each athlete will have 5 hours and 30 minutes from their individual start time to complete the bike. There will be intermediate cutoffs at 49.5 kilometers at 9:50 a.m. and 67.2 kilometers at 10:48 a.m. Event staff will be at these points to notify athletes that they are DNF and will return them to the transition area. Each athlete will have 8 hours and 30 minutes from their individual start time to complete the race. There will be intermediate cutoffs on the run course at 14.2 kilometers at 1:55 p.m. and 18.6 kilometers at 2:32 p.m. Event staff will be at these points to notify athletes that they are DNF and they will not be allowed to finish the race. As always, the race director reserves the right to institute unannounced cutoffs at any point if required. We do have medical teams across all areas of the race. Please reach out to them if you're in need of assistance or see another athlete in need of assistance. There will be over 500 volunteers from the local community assisting with the race. They'll be identified by their yellow volunteer shirts. Most of them only speak Chinese, so if you need to communicate with them at any point, please be patient and they will help you with whatever you need. Slot allocation for the 2021 IRONMAN 70.3 World Championships will be held at the Expo area in Taitung Forest Park at 4 p.m. after the race. We have 40 age group qualifying slots for the event in St. George, Utah, USA on September 17th and 18th next year. If you hope to earn a slot, please be on time for slot allocation. If you qualify for a slot and your name is called and you're not there to claim the slot is lost and will roll to the next athlete on the list. At this point, there's no way for you to get an opportunity to earn that slot back. If you don't think you're fast enough to qualify but still wish to go to the World Championships, definitely take the time to show up. There's always a chance you can earn a slot as it is common for some slots to roll down from the top athletes in each age division. If you do earn a slot, you will need a photo ID and be prepared to pay the $525 registration fee and 10% active fee at that time. Only Visa and MasterCard are accepted. Immediately following the slot allocation will be the awards at 5:30 p.m. The top 6 in each age group will receive an award. If you expect that you are in the top 6 but cannot make the award ceremony, please notify event staff so that they can make arrangements to get the award to you. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments section below, or feel free to send a DM to the event team. Also, please remember, if you've not already done so, it is important that you read the athlete information guide before heading to the race. That completes our athlete briefing for today. Thank you guys for joining us, and good luck on race day.